All right, guys. We'll get started a little early. I have a lot of content and very little time, so I want to show you guys a lot of stuff. So thank you for being here in my session called Tool Tips and Tricks from the SysAdmin field. And my name is Hajat Dalwal. I am a senior SysAdmin in the higher ed industry. I'm a Microsoft MVP in Windows devices for IT. And I am very heavy on social media, as you know. And you'll find me on Twitter, where I'm most active, at my handle here, @Hooch. I also have an About Me, which you'll find all sorts of links to Pinterest and Instagram and all that stuff. So feel free to reach out to me, contact me, tweet me, follow me, all that fun stuff, all right? So that's who I am. And again, thanks for attending this session. So we got a lot to cover. I could not minimize the things that I want to show you and talk to you about. So I'm going to try to cover the first 5 or 6. And if time permitting, we'll get through the other stuff. And I've got some resources at the end for you to look at. And you'll have the slide decks in your disposal later on to go through this stuff. So let's start with server management. How many of you know about Project Honolulu? Great. So at Ignite last year, Project Honolulu was heavily promoted here. They had a booth and all that fun stuff. And it has grown into Windows Admin Center. That's what it is now, right? And they had sessions here, stuff like that. They have a booth here as well. Go check it out. It is really an awesome, awesome tool for server management. Okay? It is basically a one-stop shop. It's server in a box kind of a management thing. It's web-based. You guys can see this from this side, yeah? It's web-based. It has a lot of granularities in terms of how to manage access and control and for role-based and all that fun stuff. So if you notice in all of my slides, I have links to these things that you can check out once you have the slide decks. All right, so here are some of the key features that are built into Windows Admin Center, and it's just growing. And I was talking to the Windows Admin Center team here, and they've got some cool stuff coming out down the pipe, so keep an eye on this. The versions are changing and with new improvements. So some of the things you can do is you can look at resources and utilizations like the CPU and things like that. You can look at Event Viewer. You can manage certificates. You can create certificates, see what they currently have and stuff like that. You can manage network settings. You can run a PowerShell. There's a PowerShell console built into it. You can remote desktop to it. You can, as you can see, you can manage registries. The list goes on. It's incredible. It's very simple. It's a free tool. I encourage you to use it. Okay. So I didn't want to go through all the stuff, but I have a quick video that I'll just to give you guys a little taste of it. So I added a few of my servers, and we'll click on one of them. So as you can see, you can restart servers. You can manage the settings. You can see the resources, memory, CPU, and all that stuff in real time. So if we look at a certificate side, it shows you all the certificates you have. You can manage, look at all the local events, the application, the security, the system, and you can fine tune into each one of them. If you clicked on one of these, it'll give you information about it, just like looking at it on the physical system itself. Okay. So this thing goes on. I mean, you can click on these different nodes and stuff like that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I should have shortened the video, actually. Yeah, my lab machine wasn't all that quick, so all right. I'll just skip over and go to, so as you can see, yeah, here you can add new firewall rules, you can remove firewall rules, you can disable. There's a PowerShell console that'll connect. Really, really, really cool. There you go. All right. So as admins, one of the things we always look at are logs, right? So whenever there's a problem in an application or a system or anything, one of the first things we always say, what do the logs say? What do the logs say? Where are the logs, right? And in the traditional sense, when we were looking at logs, you were using tools like Notepad. Notepad. I was like, okay, it's not easy. It's hard to decipher the information. And then we started using something like Notepad++, which is a little better and things like that. There's a tool called CMTrace. It's an awesome tool. It's actually built in for Config Manager. So starting with Config Manager 1806, the CMTrace tool is now installed by default on all your systems that have the Config Manager client, which is awesome. So you can, if you're on a system, on a Windows 10 machine, and it has Config Manager client on it, CMTrace tool is there. You don't even have to copy it down from your file share, and you have it. If you don't have Config Manager in your environment, you can use one of these download links here and get the tool from the toolkit. It's amazing. It's a real-time log viewer. So I'll just go through it real quick. So when you're looking at a log, for example, this one log, this is crap, right? I mean, I can't even find what I need here. The dates are all jumbled up and stuff like that. You look at it in CMTrace, looks great, right? Nice and neat. You got the dates on one side. It tells you exactly where it's coming from. You can use highlighting in CMTrace. You can highlight like keywords and things like that you're looking for. It'll point that out for you. It'll also list out errors, and errors will actually just pop right out in red. Super easy. Great tool. And then it has a built-in error lookup functionality. It's in the tools, and then you get this little pop-up, and I found this little error here. I plugged it in, and it gave me a little bit of information on what it is. So you can use this thing. It's really, really awesome. All right. One of my favorite tools is called RDC Man. It's a remote desktop connection manager. It's awesome. Right? So I don't know how you guys remote to your systems and stuff like that, whether you're using the traditional MSTSC and one at a time, you got multiple of those sessions going on. But there's this tool called RDC Man. It's being used by a lot of admins now. And you can actually set up different folder structures. If you got Exchange servers, you can put them all into one grouping. If you got Config Manager servers, you can put it in one grouping and things like that. You can manage all your systems that you're trying to manage. You can set up credentials already for these servers. I want to use this credential. Or these servers are my lab systems. I don't want to log into it. Just auto log in with these credentials. You can really get fine, granular into the stuff. So for example, this is what RDC Man looks like. And I've created like different groupings, right? I've got a work one. You can see all my print servers are in one. My management stuff is in one. I've got domain controllers and all that stuff, right? You can get into the settings. You can set up, the display settings and what's your default that you like. The credentials you want to use, RD gateway, all that fun stuff in here. Local resources are the systems that you're remoting in. All right? I'm trying to go a little fast here because I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. So the other thing that we do as sysadmins is troubleshooting, right? Networking stuff. We can, we can get out to the internet, or we can connect to a certain server or system and things like that. So we start doing troubleshooting stuff. And we've been using, the command lines tools such as ipconfig, ping, nslookup, trace routes, and things like that, right? These things, they still work. They're still good. But it's better if you use PowerShell. Now with PowerShell, all of that stuff is replaced by these commandlets. Simple, easy. It does all of that stuff for you in one shot. Okay? So there is a commandlet called test-connection. Pretty cool. But now there's a newer commandlet called test-net connection. It's, it supersedes the other one. So I just ran a thing here, test-connection, computer name. I gave it a computer name, and it gives me a little bit more details in terms of the source, the destination, the hops, and all that fun stuff. Here's another showing you a little bit more details with the detailed parameters. You can check for ports, which is on this screenshot here. HTTP, SMB, and all that stuff to see whether are those things open or not. And then if you just want to know, hey, don't give me all that stuff. I just want to know, can I get to that stuff or not? So then you have this thing down below here, informational level dash quiet. And it just tells you true or false right down here. And I gave you some resources for this commandlet for you guys to look up when you get back. So this replaces all those tools that I showed you with command line. One place. So this is something I'm sharing with you guys that's not available out there. Okay? So in my environment, I build a lot of servers. And these servers have to be set up in different VLANs. This VLAN and this IP addresses and stuff like that. So I don't know how you guys look for IP addresses or open IP addresses that need to use. If you have a database and stuff, awesome, but we don't. So, if you try to do like, ping this address and then keep trying by trial and error and stuff like that, it'll take you forever, right? So I use this script to actually do the pinging, and it also runs a DNS query and an NS lookup thing and tells you what's available. So I just used a 192.168.1 as an example to show you guys, but you can change that to your Class C network and pull what do you need to find. So as you can see here, I did that, and it started listing me the addresses that are available. So hey, 1.4 is available, 1.5 is not, 1.6 is not, 1.9 is not, and things like that. Quick and easy. So I can pull one of these. I'm going to say, hey, I want to use 1.25. Then I can make sure, I can check again, test-net connection, make sure that, it's really not used, confirm that, and then apply it to that server. So you'll have this in the slide decks as well. All right. So I think I still have time. Another thing you can do, there's this tool called Steps Recorder. How many of you know about Steps Recorder? How many of you use it? Great. This is a great tool for teaching people, teaching your end users, or even trying to capture steps for troubleshooting purposes. Let's say you contact an application vendor and say, I'm running into this problem, I'm seeing this, and you can run the steps and give it to them, and they can see exactly, where it's hanging, right? It is also a great tool for documentation, to create documentations very, very easily, okay? So I ran a steps recorder on my Windows Admin Center thing, and as you can see on the top, I took step number 2. I did a left click. I was using Chrome, right? And it captured the print screen of that particular step that I was doing. It captures all these print screens. By default, I think I can't remember. It's I think 20 or 30, 25, I think, slides that it captures, but you can increase that in the settings to like 99 or something like that. Then it gives you in detail, in text form, of all the steps that you took in that process that you captured. Pretty cool. This is where you create your documentation. You can, like, pad it up a little bit and then, make a documentation out of it on anything. All right, how many of you have heard of Quick Assist? Oh my God. This is a free remote support tool that is built into Windows 10. I did a session here last year about this. So, you may be using, I don't know, TeamViewer or some other, remote assistance kind of tool. This is basically remote assistance that was built, in Windows XP, Windows 7, and things like that. Now it's called Quick Assist. You just do a search for Quick Assist, this will come up, right? It's a very simple tool. All it gives you is get assistance or give assistance. If you say give assistance, it's going to give you a countdown, a 10-minute countdown with a security code. It's just like contacting Microsoft for support, and they tell you, hold on, go to this website and wait for the code that I'm going to give you. This is exactly what it is, right? And then you have that. The person who's receiving the assistance, they will launch the same tool. They plug in the code and start sharing. And once... Pardon? Will that pass UAC credentials? Yes. Yes. Will that pass UAC credentials? Yes. So then you get this window on your system. You can see that you're remoted in with the orange box, and it's got tools that are built in. You can run a task manager. You can annotate like you're on Edge. You can point to the person and say, here, circle this. This is what I was talking about. That kind of a thing, right? Great tool. Pardon? Yes, it'll work. Yeah. All right. So, oh yes, I still have time. So the other thing I was going to do, we were talking about PowerShell, right? So if you want to start learning PowerShell, there's so many different ways. And if you're managing Active Directory in an organization, instead of using Active Directory users and computers, use Active Directory Administrative Center, ADAC. Okay? And what I like about ADAC is that it has this feature to give you password history. Everything that you're doing in the GUI here, it'll give you the code, the PowerShell code for those steps that you took, right? For example, I created an account in a GUI. Once I'm done, it gives me all the steps that I did. New AD user, the parameters for it, and things like that. Now you can use this and build a script for anything that you want, like other new accounts that you want to build. Fantastic stuff, right? This is a PowerShell way to do it. Have you guys heard of Microsoft Whiteboard? You did? Nobody else? Okay. You did? Okay. So this is also another new tool from Microsoft. Just came out a few months ago. It's a store app that you can download, and it's for collaboration. It's great. It's awesome. You can collaborate with your teammates. You can collaborate with people from the outside, and it's all in real-time stuff. Okay. So when you do this tool, you get in the settings, you can see, you can use your pen, and if you're creating, like, if you check this box, ink to table, if you're creating little boxes, it'll turn it into a table. If you're drawing certain shapes, it can reshape that to an actual object. Really, really cool. Okay, you can pull in images if you're working with a teammate or something like that, and say, hey, here's the diagram of our server room, and we want to put, and you can start annotating and drawing and circling and doing all those things with this Microsoft Whiteboard. Collaboration. These are slides I stole from the Whiteboard. So you can see how it changes the shapes as you're drawing them. Okay? All right. So we all know about SysInternals, right? Okay. Everybody knows Procmon, Process Explorer, all those things, right? And I hope we are all using those things. They're great. But there are a few of these tools that are built into as the SysInternal tools. For example, BG-info, auto-runs, auto-logons, disk-to-VHD, and not my fault. So I just want to pull out some of these because these are some of these things you don't hear about, okay? For example, BG-info is a great tool for a upfront glance of your system. For example, this information shows up on the desktop of wherever you install it. So we have it on all our servers. So when I log into a server, I can see, oh yeah, this is the server name, the IP address, the memory, the disk space, and things like that. It's awesome. It's great. It is also very useful for lab environments. So you can set this up where a user is saying, hey, I've got this problem. So which machine are you on? And it'll tell them, right? I'm on lab workstation 10 and lab workstation 9, things like that. Really cool stuff. Auto runs, it tells you what is running on boot up and logons. If you want to do some troubleshooting, like applications, things like that, like what is actually running. Great stuff. And again, I've got the links to each and every one of these. Auto logon, great for kiosk-based systems or even labs where people are just coming in and just get right into it. You don't need any other credentials. You can manage this, you can turn it off. Great stuff. This is I brought this up because a friend of mine here who's sitting right up front, he just recently used this in his organization. On first day of school, they had one of those big, monitoring, the big monitor systems crashed. They had to get things up and running because the students are back and stuff like that. So he grabbed the physical hard drive of this machine, put it in an enclosure, plugged it into a system, ran disk to VHD, converted it to a VHD, put it in Hyper-V, and they were up and running within an hour. Awesome. This is also good for when you're trying to do forensics. You need to capture the system as a whole for archiving and stuff like that. So definitely use this. Okay? Not my fault. This is something interesting. I was like, I've never heard of this one before, but it came through while I was looking up stuff. It actually creates, blue screens and kernel memory leaks and things like that for troubleshooting. It's awesome. And finally, yay, I still made it. And finally, I've got some links here for you to check out. So I didn't talk about Visual Studio Code, which is the new PowerShell ISE. It's the rave. It's awesome. Check it out. There's some tools from the Microsoft PFEs. That's great stuff. If you want to manage drivers, and there's another link here that I check out almost every day. It's called Microsoft Tip of the Day. The PFEs and stuff like that give you different tips. And then you have my podcast. You have my show, my Facebook group, my blog. And if you want to run some test labs, go ahead to Azure Dev Test Labs and start creating a test environment. And thank you. And please fill out the evaluations. Thanks for coming.